evening, Not Moved
What up?
podcast.
Not move. What's going on?
This is Chief316 and JB coming at you for your Kansas City Chiefs and Baltimore Ravens game recap episode. I hope you all are having yourselves a great evening. Forgive us if we sound a little hoarse. We got stuff going
We
around the
got kids.
Midwest. Man, we got kids, we got stuff going around. I was in pre-show, I was literally joking with JB. I'm waking up in the morning, feel like I just got done smoking 5 packs of Newport. So it is what it is. We just keep hydrating and keep going. So let's talk about it, JB. We got it, man. We
We
uh
got that
we
dub.
we were not we were optimistic but still unsure, and I gotta say, Chiefs came out on the better end. That team just honestly looked amazing. They looked
Man,
back. Honestly, I called it out after it, and I texted to you. I said that was the game plan they wanted for Week 1 against the Chargers.
facts, facts.
So let's go ahead and break this down. Your score: 20 for the Baltimore Ravens, 37 for the Kansas City Chiefs. First time we've scored over 30 points for a game in a good minute.
Dear
Not
Lord.
just this season, but also last season too, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And I gotta say, as far as looking at the breakdown goes, sorry, my phone was acting weird there. Um, I gotta say, I'm looking at the score breakdown, and I remember first quarter, Baltimore came out, they scored right away. They scored on the first drive,
Yep.
and then they just kind of stalled out. And I know that, they had a lot of injuries. They had a lot of stuff go wrong. I mean, they did what they normally do, what Bag calls the Harbaugh special, where they just abandon the run. We
Mhm.
held Derrick Henry to 8 carries for 46 yards. Like, that's not supposed to happen.
No.
And this is one thing that we were talking about is, that's a huge part of your game plan as an offense for that team. Regardless if you've had the issues with fumbling and so on and so forth, you still got to try. And I just felt they just felt like something was off there. And I don't get it. So, like, for instance, the leading rusher, now granted, this was a broken play. It was in the fourth quarter. I'm still going to count it because, still part of the game, still 60 minutes. Your leading rusher was Justice Hill with 76 yards.
Yep. Yep.
As far as passing goes, before Lamar Jackson did go out, I guess he suffered a hamstring injury. It sounds like he's going to miss 2 weeks. Looks like Cooper Rush is your starter for the Ravens this weekend.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep. I think the only thing he pulled was himself. But
yeah, I think they're saying a hamstring. And
yeah.
so it looks to be he went 14 for 20 for 147 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 pick. Now, I
Yeah. I
got to
think
say,
it's a fumble, wasn't it?
no, 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 no. He threw the interception, and then there was also, I think the fumble was not credited to him. At least that's what it's showing me on my breakdown right now. But so it may have been, was that a sack? Was that a strip sack fumble?
I thought so. I thought he had two turnovers. Because he
Okay.
did, he did. Because I called a Derrick Henry fumble, and it was Lamar that actually fumbled, and
Uh,
he committed two turnovers.
okay. They didn't, at least it's not giving me a fumble on the breakdown portion here. So not going to call out the source, but I will just say that they are not crediting it with the fumble. But as far as passing goes for Mahomes, he went 25 for 37, throwing 270 yards with 4 touchdowns. So, and then you had our leading rusher of the day was, oh, wow, hold up, wait a minute, are you sure? Okay, it looks to be our leading rusher of the day was Xavier Worthy with 38 yards. Our leading receiver of the day was Xavier Worthy with 83 yards.
Yep,
I, I
the whole
uh
game and right there. I
that
mean, we've seen it how much it just opened up the entire offense. I mean, it opened up the run. Obviously, I mean,
yeah.
when we did our breakdown, our preview of the game, Bag was even on there, and he was like, "Look, if y'all get 160 yards, he said y'all can have it. We accumulated 166."
Yeah. No, that was I was very
I
I,
know how he
I was
said,
very
and,
he
and
wanted 160 yards between Hunt and
yeah,
Pacheco, but I'm telling you, man,
that ain't gonna
seeing the
work.
snap
Ain't happening.
seeing the snap count with Brashard Smith, I said this the other day too. I think what's going to happen is you're going to start seeing a phasing in of Brashard Smith, and I'm not going to necessarily call it a phasing out, but they're going to basically flip a coin between Hunt and Pacheco, and whoever wins gets the other bulk of production. I think one of those guys is going to take a major step back moving forward. I honestly do. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they can keep just kind of make this a rotating carousel of running backs.
Well, what I heard today, and it really makes sense because he's that same type of style, and it really, really excites me because the
Yeah.
Chiefs were very successful and they had a running back like this. So
He's a
what they're
speedster.
gonna,
He's elusive.
well, listen. So what they're gonna start doing, and if you didn't realize, when I seen him get that ball, and he took it up that right side of the field, and his vision with his feet were just amazing, dude. Because he walked that tightrope, and he was spinning and juking, and I was like, oh, he's out, no, he's not, oh, he's out, oh, dude, whoa, Jared McKinnon.
Yeah.
He's the exact same style as Jared McKinnon if the guy could learn how to pass block. The
Yeah.
guy is amazing at receiving out the backfield. Expect to see Smith count go up moving forward in the
Oh yeah.
passing game and in the running game because, like you said, he's got that burst of speed that the other two running backs lack.
He
And
reminds me of Clyde his rookie year when he had that burst. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, a little bit, I
It,
could see
uh,
that. The way
he's
that
a smaller Clyde essentially, like Jerry, like you said, Jerick McKinnon.
I like the Jarek McKinnon thing because the thing is about Jarek McKinnon, he he was very high IQ, right?
Yes.
And what's the most famous? And he was very unselfish.
Yes.
What's the most famous play that he's ever made for a team in his life? He slid and kneeled the ball at the one.
Yeah. He took it. He basically took an L for himself to ultimately give his team a W.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
That's the kind of player I hope Smith is, man.
yeah.
I think I got high expectations on him, man. And where I also want to say, I'm going to totally botch his name, I think, but Noel Williams, defensive back, number 30,
Okay.
rookie. Um, I want to say he was a sixth rounder.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Dude right now is the leading DB in the NFL.
And I'm okay with that 100%.
So
And here's the thing, though, and this is one thing I'll add on to it. When it comes to a Steve Spagnuolo defense, you know this as well as I do, but I got to put this out there for the viewers. You don't really see them listed as corners and safeties. They're just listed as DBs.
yeah,
And these guys are
they
versatile.
do
These
everything.
guys are cohesive. These guys can play anywhere, any place, anytime to help the front seven.
Facts, facts.
So I honestly I see something working up here to where yeah, I'm missing Dion Bush, but
Here's the
shit.
thing. Here's the thing. Between if Williams can get back on track, between him, McDuffie,
Mhm.
and this new dude, man, the Chiefs DB is set for a couple years, man. I'm telling you.
Um, I as long as I can give Spags one or two defenses every or one or two DBs every single draft or offseason or unsigned free agent, as long as they can keep just fulfilling that plethora of need, because I think on as much turnover as you have, you can honestly, you know, go through three or four guys in a season and recycle them out for some younger talent or guys who may be a little bit older and still have a little bit of speed on them. It's very, very doable. Now, I want to say this, and this is one thing I did see over the game as far as things were going. You didn't We didn't get a flag on Jawan Taylor this week, brother.
Oh, I know. You also realized that he proposed to his girl too.
No, I did not see that.
Right after. It was before or after the game. I forget.
Right. And also on the other side, he was a little late showing up. He had a thing. Thoughts and prayers out to Chris Jones and
Yep,
the issues
Chris
he's going
Jones.
through. As far as someone who's been in Kansas City their entire career, someone who, and one thing I like to say about our fan base is we really, really care about our players as far as on and off the field goes. So my thoughts and prayers are with him and his family and all of his endeavors off the field, so that way he can take care of that stuff and be right. So now that we've got that taken care of, I do want to break this down. Your leading passer and your leading rusher are still Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
He bumped it. He bumped those numbers up to 130. Now, I will say this: with Xavier Worthy moving up there as well, you have looks to be Isaiah Pacheco up to 127. You also have Kareem Hunt over to 115. So these guys are starting to get some things going here. I'm liking it.
Got some traction on the ground. I like it. I like it.
Yep. Marquise Hollywood Brown for 209 yards. Okay, he's up there. We're moving up. Looks to be Travis Kelsey's your second leading receiver at 182,
Yep.
and
He's
he's
actually the eighth ranked or eighth highest ranked tight end in the NFL right now in yardage and everything.
and Tyquan Thornton is also tied at 182 receiving yards as well. So I'm
Oh wow.
pretty, yeah. So these guys are moving. These guys are getting yardage. I will say this: Patrick Mahomes, he's up to 939 yards for the season. So he's on a pretty decent pace. I think, honestly, once they get Worthy back, once they get a few more pieces where they, see what Royals can do along with these guys, he's probably going to open it up. I honestly think he will because of you. It's kind of one of those things where you don't want to waste the talent. So,
Oh,
uh,
absolutely not, dude. I mean, this team, dude. Just imagine. I mean, there was a comparison between, what's his face with Worthy, of how any Worthy could go to any team right now and be a number one, right? Rice has
yeah,
that capability too, right? Like in my eyes, Rice comes back, dude. I think we got two of the best, or the best, one of the best wide receiving
and
corps in the NFL with Juju behind him, Tyquan Thornton. You
yeah,
got. I mean, with that duo though, dude.
in my eye, that's one of the better duos in the league.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think
And
I think and here's the thing though is we haven't seen them as a duo.
yeah, I
We
think
haven't seen we
honestly,
don't even know what Hollywood Brown could do with all three of them, bro. You imagine Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, Rasheed Rice,
mhm,
and Tyquan Thornton
yeah,
with
and then
Jalen
you add
Waddles,
in Juju for a security blanket
Juju,
because
and Jalen Royals.
I mean, hell, Juju's getting himself his small touch, his small catches, his small. I
Hey,
mean, yeah,
I
he had two
called it.
touchdowns.
I called it.
So
I called it. I told you.
I know, I know. Don't even get me started on fantasy right now because I'm a little mad. I got eliminated from my guillotine this week. So yeah. So, but no, when I look at these stats, I'm looking at a team that honestly that was still in the preseason. I'm looking at a team that is
Yeah,
starting to
yeah.
figure itself out. And this is not my quote. This is a quote from Bill Belichick. Your season starts November.
Mm-hmm.
So it's best to get as many wins as you can leading up to then. But once November hits, it's go time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a quote from Bill Belichick, and I 100% agree with that because I gotta say, how many times have we just kind of coasted through September and October and then just completely played an entirely different style of game play
Yep. Yep.
in November and December?
Yep.
So I will say that. Now, let's go and talk about a little bit more the uglier side of this game, just a little bit. when it does pertain to the Ravens. We gotta talk about it just a little bit. Wishing Lamar Jackson a speedy recovery with his injury.
Hmm.
Um, I just gotta say, everything Bags said and Tina has said on our episode previewing this matchup was honestly correct. Um, as far as the issues that they're running into, these guys are Baltimore's going through multiple issues right now when it comes to not only sometimes coaching and game planning decisions, but also they're hitting a bit of the injury bug. I think now after this week, like they've hit 13 guys on IR, so they're creeping up there as far as what the Detroit Lions went through last year
Dude,
as far as guys on IR.
I went to V's page and I seen
Yeah.
a video he posted of John Harbaugh's press conference, and that boy is not happy. They kept asking him about the injuries, and he was like, "Quit asking me." He's like, "How about I just don't answer you?" And he was like, "You know
Yeah.
what? The injury report comes out at 4 o'clock. Just get that. I'm
Yeah.
done talking about it." He's like, "There's a lot. Just know that."
Yeah. And I think and that's the thing though, is he's been there a while. He's been through, highs and lows. I just think now when you have, because at the start of the season, the team, I mean, that was, in my opinion, that was the best roster on paper from 1 to 53. The Baltimore
Yep.
Ravens
Yep.
had the best roster.
Hmm.
And now that they're going into week 5, and they have so many guys on IR, it really sucks. It's kind of heartbreaking because you wanted to see. I'm not saying that I didn't want to, I love the game and I'm happy with it, but I also wanted to see one of those Baltimore games that we always have with them, for that one for the ages.
Yeah. See, and that's the other thing I was going to ask you. Do you think that the Chiefs just got by with they'd only beat the Ravens because they were injured, or do you think that the Chiefs were actually that good?
I think it's a mixture of both because I do think with how the wide receivers were playing and complementing each other, they were able to open up the run game just a little bit, regardless of who was getting the carries. But the problem was, and the main thing that I saw is the Baltimore defensive line was just not getting as much pressure as I thought they would. I mean, don't get me wrong, each team recorded a sack, but it seemed like for a good amount of time, these guys were giving Mahomes enough time to sit there and braid his kid's hair. Like
I
it,
think it was a little bit more of with that one that defensive rush was absolutely horrible, right? I
yeah,
think it had to do with a mixture of that and from the week before, Mahomes was like, "Yo, I realized after watching film, I have time. I just gotta trust them and give them. I just gotta hold the ball just a little bit
yeah.
longer, you
And
know."
that's the thing though,
And
is
that's
I
what I
think
think he did.
through the first 2 weeks when you were going through those issues and you weren't giving your guys enough time, I completely understand it because he has a certain expectation in his head. This team, this city, this fan base
Hmm.
has a certain expectation. And especially since 2019, no team has played more football than ours. So
Right,
that
right.
expectation is going to sit there and sustain itself in everyone's head. So even the quarterback, he is one of those guys. He wants to be as perfect as he possibly can be when it comes to playing
Absolutely.
his game.
Yep.
So I'm interested to see, regardless moving forward of who we're playing, I want to see if he stands in the pocket and gives his guys some time, or if this was just kind of one of those games. Like even next week, they have a solid front seven on defense. We'll break that down later this week.
Yo, yeah, I'm
But
ready for that.
but it's one of those things where we have to keep a watchful eye, and you can't live and die by every single play and every single down, because this team has the potential and has shown the ability to be down in the first half and come blazing in the second half. So it's very doable to be done. The problem The lingering issue that I'm seeing right now, if I wanted to say that is a major issue that's moving up the list for me, is once again Harrison Butker.
Yeah, so after that kick out, the hurt in my head was you asking me that question. Does it move up? And I'm like, I guarantee you he's going to ask me that at the recap. So, yeah.
It's starting to move because I'll tell you what,
it's starting to move me.
It's starting to move up my list of, okay, maybe it's time to go fishing for another practice squad kicker someone's hiding. Or because I got to tell you, if he doesn't clean it up by the trade deadline, I'm willing to make a move. Granted, I'm not Brett Veach. I can't make those decisions, but I'm willing to honestly try and figure something out, or at least light a spark under his ass, just so that way we can figure out if this is our guy, especially because I know we both know there's a phase out period where there's going to be a massive amount of turnover from essentially the first side of Mahomes' career to this next phase of Mahomes' career, because Brady went through it in 3 phases. And I'm not trying to compare it directly to Tom Brady, but as far as if we expect him to have this long of a career as Brady and get all the accolades and everything else, we can break it down into 3 phases. It was 01 to 05 or 06, and then you had 07 to 11, and then 11 and on. And it was 3 completely different styles of football, and it was amazing to watch. So the same thing goes for a kicker. Yeah, he's not right up there with Pat, but I'll tell you what, though, those teams never had a bad kicker. Those teams had someone, as soon as they felt the smallest little skirmish, Belichick got him out there. So,
Gronkowski, Vinatieri.
Yeah. I mean, it was really those 2 and, mix in a few injuries here and there. But, yeah, when you have Steven Gostkowski, you have Adam Vinatieri, two of the best kickers to ever play the game. It's it's one of those things where, I mean, don't get me wrong, for the years we loved and adored Cairo Santos. He fell off, got injured. We found Butker. It's going to happen again, and I just want to make sure that we have someone, because, for instance, granted it's been limited, I'm very impressed with Matt Araiza. I still am. I still don't have anything bad to say about the dude. He's played his game just right. So,
I've always liked Matt. Liked Matt Araiza.
Yeah, no, and I think that's one thing that's starting to honestly show some good signs of life too, is special teams. They're actually starting to have a head on their shoulders and figure things out. And regardless if it's returns or kickoffs or punt returns or punting, all 4 phases of special teams is figuring it out. And I'm excited to see. There's a lot that I know I use the word excited and probably ad nauseum for the listeners, but when's the last time, aside from the Super Bowl, of course, because we all know what that was, but overall, big picture, when's the last time you were honestly disappointed with this team?
Oh man, maybe with like the Buffalo year, like the Buffalo game with the Kadarius Toney offsides. That's not really the team though. I mean, it kind of is. And not really. That's a Kadarius Toney.
Kadrapius, but yes.
Yeah, still got the longest punt return in NFL history. It set us up to win the game. So, and he's got 2 rings.
He does. Yeah, I'll give him that. He does have 2 rings. But I just, and that's the thing.
It's been a long time. Alex Smith days would be.
I would have to say it was probably the Ice Bowl against Pittsburgh in 2016. When we lost that playoff game to Chris Boswell and then the other 2 players of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, so. I don't know, because that Colts game still haunts me.
Oh, the playoff. Yeah, yeah, no, down up
Yeah,
29,
yeah,
up 29-3, and yeah, no, I get that. I get that. But now, now that we got this dub, you and I are actually at the same spot where we predicted we'd be going into week 5 at 2-2.
yep.
Um, I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with where they've turned the corner. And like I said, those first 2 losses, it was mental mistakes. It was mental errors. It was trying to figure out what they should do, and they could not get out of their own way. And these past 2 games, I saw a team that kind of just, you know, it's Major League Baseball playoffs right now. If line drive comes at you, what do? You take a breather and you take 3 steps back. That's what this football team is doing right now. They're taking 3 steps back. They're assessing the situation properly, and they're able to execute these plays. Mahomes is giving his guys time. His line's giving Mahomes time. And I'm seeing something that could be very dangerous for the rest of the NFL. I'm hoping that that stays true. And I think we'll get a good test of it this coming Monday night.
Yeah, I do too. This is going to be a good matchup. You know,
Yeah.
um,
So for those of you that don't know, our next opponent, Monday Night Football, Kansas City Chiefs traveling down to Jacksonville, facing the Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So it'll be an interesting matchup to see. I
I'm
do know
ready.
this. We are trying. We are actively trying to seek out a few Jaguars fans that we know in the social media realms to see if they want to come on with us and preview this game. So we're gonna do our best to try
Oh
and
yeah,
get someone on.
we're
If we,
going. We'll get one. I know that.
yeah, I think we got about 3 to 5 guys I know we can probably get on and who can break this down just as good as we can every week. But other than that, I think that just about does it. At least what I can think of for this match or this week 4 recap versus the Ravens. JB, you got anything else? Did you see anything else during this game that stood out to you that we didn't cover tonight?
Um, hmm. I don't think so. I think Travis Kelsey's really starting to. He's still showing that he's still around.
Yeah,
He's got an impact for sure.
they're
Um,
but that's the thing though is these teams are harping on him. They are not wanting him to cook. They're forced. That's one thing they're doing, which is
mhm,
also starting to not pay off. These teams are going after Kelsey and forcing Mahomes to use his other weapons.
and he is.
Eventually, yeah, and eventually, that's not going to be able to work out for everyone.
Nope,
So,
they're gonna have to let somebody open, or maybe
yeah.
2 people,
Now,
because
I
that deep threat's the worst. You got 2 of them going deep.
yeah. Now,
2 of them
I
that go
did
over the
want to
middle, and Kelsey.
yeah. Now, I did want to bring up one more thing. This has to do with football, but not just in a literal sense of just football. Um, I gotta say this, and you know me. It's in uh my little picture back here. I'm an avid NASCAR fan. Okay, so over at on Sunday, you had the NASCAR Cup Series racing at the Kansas Motor Speedway. Green flag flew an hour and a half before the Chiefs game started. Okay, the one bit of criticism I could give to Kansas City Sports Athletic Commission, the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs, even NASCAR. I want to say this when you are planning dates. Now, NASCAR does release its schedule almost a year out. I have next year's schedule for NASCAR already in my hand, it's in my computer right now. I've got to say this when you have big games, especially marquee matchups such as the Ravens, or even just a matchup for that matter, you need to make sure and look around and see what else is going on in these cities to one, get the most out of your sporting event, regardless of what it is. Like it used to always be, they would come race at Kansas when the Chiefs were on the road, or or the Chiefs or the NFL and the Chiefs would come to a conclusion for a game when it would not even remotely impact the NASCAR race, so fans could go to both. because regardless of both, I watched both events. I had the Chiefs game on my big TV and I had the race on my phone. And I saw empty seats at both places. I just think that if they were scheduled properly, that you would have had sellout crowds at both venues. That's the only bit of criticism I can give, and it's more or less not just on a for this team standpoint. It's more or less just for reading the room for your city if you with other major sporting events going on at the same time.
Yeah, just horrible planning. I mean, that's why they don't do Royals and Chiefs games same time.
Well,
That's
because I remember back, what was it? They used to do, I think it was that, okay, so we just hit a year ago the other day when uh, we faced Brady on Monday night in 2014. Now, granted, we were the last loss for
Yeah,
Brady that season, but I remember that day the Royals were at home because they were
yeah,
playing and they actually did a ticket package. I remember this. You could
yes,
buy
yes,
tickets for both the Chiefs and the Royals because the Royals were in the afternoon and the Chiefs were that night.
yeah, yep, yep. It worked out.
So yeah, it worked out. And that's what I'm saying is they made that work as a unit. So like for instance, if they wanted to make that race at Kansas a Saturday night race, would have been perfect for everybody to hit both.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things where you got to look at the finer details to ultimately help out your team, your sport, your local economy. So I sorry to go on a bit of a rant or a tangent about it, but I just
No,
feel
no.
that's a big thing for sports in general. If we want all sports to thrive, we have to make sure that we're also kind of saying, "Hey, what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, we gotta be aware of our surroundings.
Exactly. I mean, I know they're only 15 miles apart, but still.
That's still, I mean, it doesn't matter if 50 miles apart. I mean, that you shouldn't, that makes a bigger case.
Yeah. I
15 miles
mean,
apart, you shouldn't have them at the same time.
yeah, I mean, because you're still taking fans away from both events.
Yeah,
So
they
you're
kind of go
still
hand in
taking
hand.
revenue for these entities away from these event spaces. So, but anyways,
Well, I
my
agree.
friend, I think that kind of wraps up this episode for our Chiefs and Ravens recap. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us. Go and check us out on our socials. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. We have all of our links for our sponsors in the bio in the YouTube page. So that way you can go to BetUS, you can get my bookie promos. You could
Yeah, the
we're also
mybookie.ag is in the QR code right there. You guys can just scan it.
oh,
Bink. Takes you right there.
boom. Yep. You also had
Also,
yeah.
NFL Shop, enter in promo code not moved. Same thing with MLB Shop, promo code not moved. Chief, as always, I may not be 6'8", 260 pounds, but I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
I'm not moved.
Yep.
Lock in or log out. Strap up what you don't want broke up. Coach comment hollering at you from not move. Kansas City Chiefs style recap with the Baltimore Ravens. We got the 2-2 going to hit that Jacksonville Jaguars right in the mouth. I'm JB. This is the homie Chief316. We'll see you again coming real soon.
Good evening on purpose.
Not
Let's
move.
go.
This non casual podcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or reused without the authorized written consent of the Not Move Podcast Network. Thank you, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.